I would mainly predict that I think kids will become much more aware of the personal appearance in everything, and actually build their own brand strategy for how they look, how they appear, what they do, and so forth. So you probably will see that just as celebrities today have a style guide and they have a personal person telling them how to dress and behave and the language, you will actually see the kids will go that far. Because kids are so exposed for brands, they watch American Idol, X Factor, whatever programs, so they have now been taught from childhood that appearing is not a coincidence. If you appear the right way, you actually will become successful. So now we will see most likely the kids will start to evaluate their appearances and grade themselves. And I would not be surprised that you will have something called personal branding in the schools 10 or 15 years from now on, where some of the most advanced schools will teach kids at the age of 6 how they appear on stage, how they dress themselves and so forth, because perception is really the main driver in our society. I do think in addition to that, that the whole education format will change as well.
In what sense?
Well, in the sense that today we are taught things in school based on a linear format. I tell you something, you listen to it, you play back. In the future, we probably will see that games will take over, and you will actually be handed over a computer game, and you play a great computer game, it's really fun. Guess what? As a result, you actually learn something. So education will be integrated into the computer gaming format. We're now starting to see formats similar to that in Japan and Korea.
Okay.
This will become a standard around the world. And then last but not least, I think that kids will, I, for example, was selling lemonade when I was a kid and small Lego creams, believe it or not, when I was 11. But I do think that kids today will build up their own little factory of apps on the web. So they will start to sell small products and actually start to earn the pocket money at a very young age, like age of 8 or 10. And because of that, they will actually start to build the brand name very quickly and start to have a revenue platform. So we will actually see that people will become small garden geckos at the age of 8 rather than the age of 30.
They will be advised on fashion and personal appearances. They will create their apps. Is that scary for you?
Absolutely. It's really scary, because I do believe that kids need to have a childhood. And childhood is a space where you allow for trial and errors. You're allowed to play and be dumb. You're allowed to do fun and extraordinary different things, which are provocative, break rules and so forth. Not only to be rebellious towards the surroundings, but also to learn from your mistakes. Now, if you start to go on stage at the age of 6 or 7, and there's a full attention on you, which by the way is the case right now because of the internet, you are much more careful. And one of the biggest strengths kids have is that they have courage. And as soon as we become older, we remove our courage from the part of our brain. That means we're much more careful, and therefore we don't dare to take chances, and therefore we can't develop new brands and products. Now, when I develop some of the most successful brands or products in the world, it's actually kids at the age of 6, 7, and 8 which are developing it for me behind the scene, because they have no courage. So if I say to them, how is the future makeup kit going to look like for girls? They would come up with all sorts of strange ideas, and you say, gee, I never thought about that before. I'm afraid of the kids are going to lose that edge, because parents will guide them, the surroundings will guide them, medias will guide them, their friends will guide them, their Facebook's account will guide them. So suddenly they will become too stylish, too perfect at a too young age, and therefore they will never have that edge, which really is making them so different and so powerful.